Hello, everybody, and welcome to GLATD. Girl, let's agree to disagree. We have a great show for you tonight. Tonight, actually, this afternoon. I don't know. We usually
It
do
depends on where
late
you are.
nights.
It depends on where you're living.
Yeah, I feel like we always do late nights, and so now that we're like doing things mid afternoon or like early evening, it's really weird. But I digress. Uh, this is basically, I feel like, a good time to just catch up on the week. We are about to head into the veto episode tonight, and there has been a lot of stuff that has happened. Before we go through it, I want to just remind everybody, if this is your first time watching, click like, subscribe, click to receive those notifications so that you know when we're on. We do at least one recap a week, or we will be trying to, and we also do our exit interviews with the evicted house guests every Friday, and we drop those out as well. And we will be talking about that. We also look for questions to ask these evicted house guests. If you have a feeling or you think you know and have a question, let us know. Drop them in the comments. Super chat is a great way to help support us as well. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I feel like I talked enough. Let's introduce our house guest, our special house guest and host and co-host for today, Miss Angela Rockstar.
Hey, so happy to be here.
Yes, she's one of my favorites. We have a lot in common, actually. One of the things I remember the most during my season, and I know as this week, because this is kind of like a very pivotal week. I feel like Leo season in general is a very pivotal season for Big Brother, because a lot of awesome shit happens.
Oh yeah, that fire energy.
Very, very fire energy. I won my HOH Leo season. I won my HOH on my daughter's birthday, and I shouted out. Yeah, I shouted out Rockstar when I won, because I was like, "Oh, my daughter's birthday!" Like, it was crazy. You know, obviously, Rockstar's daughter, right? That whole thing was that peak Leo season. That was like right into the new moon, wasn't it?
She's a Cancer technically, because it's July 19th, 20th, but it goes right in. She's got some Leo tendencies.
Yeah, that was like the pivotal beginning moment. And then we also celebrated 2 birthdays this week in the Big Brother house. It was Michael's birthday, who's actually inside of the house, and Keisha's birthday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And
that was so cute what they did for Michael.
Yeah, I mean, we are not there yet, because I believe, like, I don't know, drop in the comments, and I know that there's a whole bunch of comments. Everybody's just giving us all of the good
living
love.
for you.
They are. Yes. Rockstar looking like such a queen. I just want to say, Rockstar and I have partied. We have done girl sleepovers. We have a good food, and I will say, Rockstar is always on point. She's always looking.
She is
like a queen.
She
always.
Is.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we are, so excited. But let's talk about first what we're coming into, right? Because we haven't had an episode since last week, Wednesday. Yeah. So ultimately, at that point, we had a tremendous blindside. Yeah. The leftovers had just came in and created this beautiful alliance called the Leftovers, which comprised of Taylor, and Taylor. No, just the only one that matters. No, Taylor and Michael. Taylor and Friends. Oh, we should just call it Taylor and Friends. Yeah. The Taylor and Friends alliance. That's what we're gonna call it. But yes, it comprised of a lot of people. I'm not even going to mention all of them. Big blindside. Yeah, there were. There's 7 of them.
I don't feel bad, though. You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was talking to my bae, and I was like, this is like one of the first times there was a huge alliance, and America's not mad. Because it's 7 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about it. Normally, I'm like, oh, I hate when they dominate and they do all this stuff. This is the first season I'm like, you know what? Yes, thank God.
Exactly. It's so funny how when shit doesn't go our way,
We're so
we're
contradictory.
so mad. I'm gonna turn this shit off. This is crap. You guys suck. This is done. And all of a sudden it just switches in like
We are the
4
worst.
seconds, and we're just like, yes. And then we get mad at people who are like, this sucks. This is whatever. We're like, yo, don't get mad. We are all
Don't be mad because your team isn't winning.
Right.
Yeah. Who would ever do that?
We are contradicting
We
everybody
are.
as if our name was Nicole. I'm telling you.
Ooh, that Nicole, man. I think she feels like she's like Casey. I think she feels like she's gonna, and she's just, no, she's not.
I think a lot of people gave her that title when she first came in. They saw lesbian, they saw kind of very masculine energy, studdish, and I at that point think that they were like, oh, and she's Filipino, so she's, coming in, and I still don't know if she is Filipino, but I do know she's Puerto Rican, and I will tell you, she is literally every last bit of bad Puerto Rican that I know in like on the island. Like seriously, like she's probably all of our worst traits, all combined into one. Like I look in the mirror and I said, wow, those are the things that like I'm so scared to even claim, but because it's a mess. It's a hotmess.com over there.
Has she ever talked about Casey? Like ever?
Nope.
I know she talks about
know. She talks a lot about Tiffany. She wants to be Tiffany's BFF.
She's talked about me too. She said I was jealous of their festival theme, which, you know what? I'm gonna give her that because
we love the honesty.
I'm gonna let her be right about something, okay? I'm gonna let her have that one.
I'm sorry, Rona's like she's not Puerto Rican. Yeah, she is. She's admitted it more than she's admitted it more than enough times on the live feeds. She said she's the worst. Actually, she said she's the worst Puerto Rican ever. So I actually tend to believe her on this one. And she has spoke Spanish. She has spoke Spanish in the house, like very broken Spanish, but her and Monty definitely connect.
Who speaks better Spanish?
On that. I want to say Monty speaks better Spanish.
Because it seemed like in the letter, his mother was the one.
Oh yeah, his mother is Puerto Rican. So she's an Afro. Exactly, and she has written to him. She wrote to him kind of in some Spanish words and whatnot. Oh my gosh, not a Puerto Rican Christmas, but I'm like
I can see that. I'm here for it now that it was highlighted. I'm here for it.
And then Christina would say half Puerto Rican, half Filipina, and I think that it was because everybody has been calling her a Bruno Mars, not because she just looks like Bruno Mars, which is kind of weirdly accurate because I feel like she does give Bruno Mars vibes, but because Bruno Mars is half Puerto Rican and half Filipino, so.
I think she's really pretty. I think that her energy is terrible, and she's got a lot of cop energy, and that just never syncs up with me.
I would not want to be in a room with her.
Except when they do like toy give outs and they're it's like the Christmas spirit. Then I'm cool with that. But like,
I only like cops when they're giving out toys for the needy. That's basically what Rockstar said. Unless they're giving back to the community, which is not when they're on call. Basically, is usually when they're off call. No, but it's a little wild. We saw this blind side because we're still like coming out of week 3. Mm-hmm. We have this blind side. If you all haven't checked it out, like I did too, a mini exit interview with the evicted house guest. I already forgot her name, but it doesn't matter. Amira. Sorry, no, I did honestly have a brain fart. I wasn't being shady at all.
No, because I was about to be like Pooch, right?
No, Amira. How did you feel about that one, Jess?
Let
Because
me
I watched
let me
it
tell
and you
you
look
a
like this.
something. Let me tell you a little something. I always am very nervous for these interviews when
Uh-huh.
I don't like somebody because I know I don't have a I don't have a poker face.
You can
And
tell that way.
I try to be so nice and my face still says something like don't do it, like
She was talking and you were like,
well, I don't even want to know what my face is going to look like on this Friday,
I can't wait to see it.
because if Nicole, well, we ain't even there yet, child. So let's not even put out that energy yet. Big shout out to Miss History, my girl Tracy, my little girl. She my girl. She's such a great supporter of the show. Thank you for the super chat. She says, "Hey babes, happy belated birthday to Sabrina and Angela Rockstar Leo season." Thank you so much. Sabrina's birthday was on the 1st. I had a link for her. She's actually going to Spain for spring, for her spring trip with school. And she just turned 16 and it stresses me out, but people have been donating to her little link and she was very surprised. I
That's
have
a
to
good
send
school.
out.
They're going abroad in high school.
A lot of them do.
We were so broke. You could go to DC. You go to New York.
Well, hey, I'm sorry, but I am broke. I am broke as well, so that's why the donation button was there. That trip, she has to raise almost $4,000 to go. That's a lot of money. I was like, girl, I love you, but 16. I went to like my nation's capital. Not my nation, my state capital. Like we took a bus to Springfield, Illinois. It's not like I even went to Washington, D.C., let alone like Spain.
Drive you up the street.
I traveled in high school. I went to Australia and I then went to Germany in my junior year. And I just used to work my ass off. My grandfather also was, very generous in like go see the world while you can.
Oh.
And it was dope. That Australia trip, like the Germany trip I did on my own because I had an exchange student, but the Australia trip was a bus load of 15-year-olds that were just in a tour bus going around Australia. It was wild. It was cool, amazing.
Though. Yeah,
such a blessing. And I think
really wish.
I think if you have the opportunity to travel, see the world, because it just expands your mind and your view, and especially growing up in America, we can get very America centric, and thinking all the whatever that they're telling us. Like one of the things I learned in Germany, which has nothing to do with Big Brother, but I'm going to tell you real quick, is that they were shocked and appalled that we do a Pledge of Allegiance and that we sing because of what they did when Hitler was in charge. They do not mess with nationalism on any kind of a level. So they were shocked at how America we are, because they view that as very dangerous. They view that as a dangerous pathway to, you're the best nation in the world. Are you? Does that mean you can do whatever you want? It was just fascinating. And it changed the way that I thought from a very early age, because I got hit with that. Wow, everybody doesn't think we're the greatest nation in the world. That's weird,
And for good reasons. That's interesting.
So I hope Sabrina gets to go. I'll definitely be hitting up that link, and you all should do that too. Give this girl the opportunity to see the world. It's amazing. It's
absolutely amazing. And
you know what? Where can we find it, Jess?
The link is on my Twitter. It's on my Twitter page. So if anybody follows me on Twitter,
put it in the chat, you guys.
Be there. I could put it in the chat. I don't have the.
They'll find it. Somebody.
I'm not savvy enough to talk to you all and post, because I lose all the focus. So we can't do that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I also Rockstar. I also condone that, because it's just you don't want to go into the Big Brother house never being stepped out of your house, especially your mother's basement, and then you're just kind of in there acting all horny, and you just throw away your game because you can't think outside your pants. That's the type of problems we have when people do not travel, you know, and then you end
that
up going on Big
a
Brother, and we have some of these contestants, you know, these house guests that have never seen another Black person or has never, you know, seen culture outside of their own
homogenous
walls.
lifestyle where everybody's the same religion and looks exactly the same. And that is just so wild to me. Like meeting the people that have never met anyone different from, like, that grow up in these homogenous areas. I'm like, wow. I live in the Baltimore area. That's way foreign to me.
I know. Let's get back to like the Big Brother scene. Thank you, Damrax, for the super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I saw on the feeds Brittany, Michael, Turner want to go to the final 2 with Taylor, and possibly Joseph wants to go with her too. Yes, this is like, look, but as they should. But I think personally, and we can talk about this and let me know in the chats, I think they're taking her for the wrong reasons. I think that they know that she is not liked amongst the house, and they want to take her as a final 2 because they know that they can beat her. Because if you have someone like Daniel, which they want to keep, you know, on jury, they like the people want, like, I don't see people, Jasmine's not going to vote for Taylor. I mean, that girl doesn't know how to play anything except herself. Like that.
You are reading today.
I just finished watching a whole season of RuPaul's Drag Race, so I'm working on my reads.
Yeah,
reading is fundamental. But
delicious. Like it.
You know, we could go on forever. No, yes, I am reading, and I apologize. I am in a sassy mood today. Please, nobody take what I say seriously. I'm so unserious. But yes. Yeah, so we go into we are all over the place. I am all over the place. I apologize. I'm so excited to have these 2 beautiful people on the show.
I have ADHD, so I'll be all over. You gotta raise me in. I'll be talking about France in a second. Like
I mean same, and I think that's what Busy does, and I think he kind of reels us in, and then when Hannah gets on the show, like Hannah Blackwell, she definitely keeps us in check. You know, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, but that's kind of where we end, you know, the beginning of week 4, Monty as the new HOH.
Yes. Were you afraid that Nicole would win because she
was
the first one?
Yeah, this was let's talk about like the very end of the episode, because the very end of the episode, the HOH was it was themed by a movie that's coming out called The Invitation.
Yes.
And so it had nothing to do with, you know, a BB theme or like the BB theme at all. But the first person who ended up getting the invitation and where it let off was Jasmine, out of all people.
They must have handed it to her.
They must have, maybe they needed a cliffhanger and they're like, oh, Jasmine's the only one up who got an invitation. We're like, shit, this is not.
I told people it was Jasmine and then Terrence got one, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Who is going to win this comp? It was really ridiculous.
I was crazy. As a former house guest, when Julie like did the segment change to this, she's like talking about this movie, and I don't know, it's just weird in the way that she talked about it, and then it was just this complete horror film.
Yeah, vampires. I'm like, are we in Halloween? Is this Halloween season?
Being a house guest and walking in like a haunted house, they're probably like, what the fuck is this? And like, are they coming to murder us? Because, you know, that I swear, whatever, like, I don't care who you are or how balanced you are. At a certain point in that house, you're going to have a surreal moment where you're like, is this real? Are the people still alive outside of the house? Is
absolutely
murder gonna come? Is this gonna be like a Squid Game scenario? Even before Squid Game was there, you start running. So going into a haunted horror house looking place, I would have been like,
they play that game on Celebrity Big Brother though. Like, isn't there like a Halloween? There's like a going to a haunted house, because remember Tamar didn't do it.
Yes, I do remember.
I mean, it wasn't a haunted. This wasn't a haunted. Like, let's get real. If you're gonna do something scary and it was gonna be haunted house related, you would just put everybody in a blackout box like you did
falling
me.
from the sky.
You know, because that's the scariest.
Do you think? Well, y'all been in the house. How could they have made like those envelopes fall?
Oh, they just throw them from the top. I mean, there's an open. What are you talking about? There's like an open. It's like you look up and you see the sky.
Okay.
And
it's
every
an open
so
sky.
often you'll like see so we had a comp where they were shooting paintballs at people and you could see them beaming, those masochistic motherfuckers. They're sadistic. They were up there like they were pumped to shoot with paintball guns.
Oh.
And the one that looks like Steve Aoki, I kind of like gave him a wink.
Ooh.
You know which one I'm
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Thank you, Christian, for the super chat, and thank you for letting me know that I missed the chat because I did not see it.
Christian,
he says this is you, Rockstar, on your daughter's birthday.
Christian said I can let the people know because I did my last review. Go follow me, Busy Blue. And I was talking about Joseph's body and how like I did spend like 10 minutes on it because it's just like everything about it is just amazing. And he said, well, you got to see my body. So then I did get the DMs, y'all. And I mean there's a competition there. There is a competition there. Not to put you on, but you said I could. So y'all have seen the body, and there is a competition there. I just wanted to let everybody know. I asked him, can I let the people know? He said, go ahead. And y'all, there is a competition there. Him and Joseph can't compete. Their bodies are very similar.
Oh, Miss History again with the super chat. Thank you. She says, never went anywhere until I was 21. Now I'm going everywhere, especially since the earth is spinning faster and time is truly shorter. Get your bunkers ready. Yo, I mean, okay, my idiot. I'm not even going to go there because I will talk about how time is. She's very right. Time is really going way faster. And I'm working on, actually Miss History had given us the trip information to Greece because she's going to Greece next year. Nice. And I am trying so hard to get my pennies together because
you didn't even give me the information.
Oh, we'll have to do that.
Send it to me because Miss History said I could come.
Yes,
I always wanted to go to Greece because I would love to see the temples to the old gods and goddesses. Like
girl,
realm of existence.
Miss History, let me know. I could send Rockstar the link. But yes, I mean, I tell you, like I want to go everywhere too. It's hard. I haven't. The traveling for me was always Puerto Rico, and like that was once I left, it was like pretty much every summer. So my vacation is always going back to going back home. Yeah. So
but you also don't know how to sit down, Jess. Like every second.
I'm sitting down right now, Busy.
Barely.
That's because I have a big ass.
I think you're one of the few friends that I have that I call you and it's like, oh, I'm definitely in another city.
Like, but that's the work. Come on.
Is everywhere all the time. She be working.
Yeah, well. Working.
Hustle.
The hustle is in this is this season because it was really, really hard to try to get into it the very first week. I think we told everybody it was very triggering. Rockstar, I mean, I don't know. Every season is different, right? I feel like all of us have some type of trauma that we come out with, regardless of what it is. Did you feel any like triggers in hearing and watching what was actually going on in the house in the first few weeks?
Ooh,
yes. And I whenever I speak about this, I'm gonna say that I'm speaking about it at that time. All these people were it was 4 years ago. Some of them were just barely 21. Hopefully they've all grown, evolved, and changed. I just like to say that because I don't want to hear all the nonsense when I say what I'm about to say. Oh, hi, beautiful.
He says, hi, everybody. This is Sabrina for anybody who hasn't seen the baby who just turned 16 on
Happy
Monday.
belated.
Everybody's saying happy belated. She can't hear anybody. You kind of hear everybody? Yeah.
Look at Steve in the back.
Yes.
Wait. Steve. Yeah, the Steve cam. I feel like last week we had a Steve cam too.
We sure did.
Yeah, he's a creeper. He's the creeper over here. He's like looking. I thought you were saying that she looked like Steve, which she does, but you know, it is what it is. So she wants to say thank you to everybody who donated to her trip. She's still raising money for it. So I'll like Busy said, I'll put the link.
Yeah, someone go put the link in the chat. I'll find it.
Huh?
I said I'll find it.
It is hot, I know. And look, I'm wearing a sweater and all, and it's like 90 something degrees. You look like you're cold. I look like I'm cold. Yeah. Well, hold on 1 second. Oh, thank you, baby. I love you. I'll see you in a couple days. You got your shoes? Woo! She got some new Air Jordans for her birthday too.
Nice.
So they were looking nice and fresh. She's wearing them right now. So
love.
Oh, look. Oh, she's so good. Get to the front.
Hey.
Those are cute. Those are nice.
Her little low.
I'm here for
her Air Jordans. Okay. Thanks, babe. Shut the door, please. This is what happens when you have a family.
Sorry,
this is real life. I'm sorry. I wish I could be more like Taryn sometimes.
All right, so then we get into the second part of the HOH where there's sliding glasses.
Oh,
yeah. Yes. Where they're sliding glasses, very similar to look at Busy. Yes, where they're sliding glasses, very similar to what they did in BB23.
There are more outsiders than there are leftovers, which makes Taylor very nervous. And I didn't realize that at first. Were you all cringing when this competition was happening? Because who do we have to rely on? It was only Monty, Joseph. Who else?
What do you mean?
That played in the second HOH.
Oh, you're talking about the ratio as far as who was going to win the actual.
It was only Monty, Joseph, and Brittany. Those are the only people in the cookout who were there. The rest of them were all the real leftovers.
I mean and I think that the biggest well, to me, and what I feel like if people in the comments could probably shout this out if that was what you were thinking. For me, the only problem was Nicole. Like in my thing, even though Taylor would have been safe, I really didn't want Nicole to win HOH, and I did not want Jasmine to win. I think anybody else I would have felt a little bit better about, but
barely made it through.
Jasmine, whole trip. Like, I cannot even imagine not competing. I feel like the people in my house would have broken a rib, had a heart attack, and still competed, including all of them. We were so competitive that there wouldn't be not a nothing that would keep us I don't know. The way she's just like laying around and asking people for food and getting mad when they don't bring her food in a timely manner. And I'm like, what is this?
Okay.
I agree. Big shout out to Mr. Bruno. Bruno is a BB Canada legend. He was on BB3 and BB5 All-Stars. He's also like my brother. I say he is my BB Canada husband. Love you, boo. I see him so much. He also has a great Twitch for those. He's a gamer, so he has a Twitch stream. Anybody who wants to follow him. Yeah, I mean, I agree. For me, it's like everybody's so horrible in that house. I mean, and even with the leftovers, I feel that a lot of them are giving them passes. A lot of fans are giving them passes because they're part of this alliance. And it's still very hard and still too early to tell who was really in this alliance for the right reasons, because they still use and continue to use Taylor as a scapegoat versus an actual alliance member.
Do they do it to the outside though?
Well, here's the thing, right? And Rockstar could probably attest to this. Maybe you can back me up. It's like you really never know who's saying the truth in the house. So like all of when you're looking at BB Twitter and all of these posts and the things that are coming out of people's mouths, the fans are taking this, some of them, not all of them, are taking this as word is bond. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying this. But that's not usually the intention. Like they're trying to play along. You're never going to say anything contrary to someone of what they're telling you, right? Because you're trying to keep peace. You're trying to like, oh yeah.
You don't want to end up on the block because you rock the boat too much, or
exactly
you stood up and said this behavior is unacceptable. Well, then everybody's like, nah, get out, and then you're gone, and then your chance at money is gone, because it is a game where you're like, I know people are watching this. There are certain things that I don't want to be a part of, or certain ways that I want to leave out knowing how I conducted myself. But at the end of the day, it's also like, yo, I'm trying to win this money too. So there's a lot of, I almost gave a giant speech during my season of Big Brother where I was about to cite all the microaggressions that I felt like were happening. Ooh. And Bailey talked me out of that and reminded me that I was there for my kids to win a house. And I said, you are right. And so I drew that back in and did not take a stand in that way, because really, if I could have won $500,000, I wouldn't be paying $2,500 in rent every month. Like, period. And I have 3 kids. I was the only person in my house with children. Steve had, I think, an adult child, but stepchild or whatever. I don't know. But he was gone immediately. I was the only one with kids, and I was there with a mission to basically essentially win a house. That was wild. Yeah. So there's a lot of instances where maybe you do want to say something, but then by saying something, you may completely jeopardize your game, and there's your money gone.
Yeah. And people, and there could be, and this is why I don't really respond to things like this on Twitter specifically. It's why I have my page on private, because I had a feeling that this season was going to be very triggering to some people. I knew that anything after 23, we were not going to have a 23 again, right? I knew that something was going to pop off, and I get easily triggered, and I automatically I want to say something, and Twitter is definitely not the site for you to have a discourse like that, right? Because it's like, you want me to explain to you how the world works in 260 characters or less. I don't know. Like, I can't help you with that. And I don't have the time nor the patience nor the energy to show an experience and tell you my experience on what this is like. Do I think that people have definitely gone and passed that line of game versus personal? Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Like, do I think that production should step in? Absolutely not. Like, the people on Twitter that keep on saying they need to go in and say something and say something.
I want to see these trans
in the 20 plus years that Big Brother has been a part of society, have they ever came in? First of all, they don't come into the house ever. They will tell you to go into the diary room before you see anybody. You will never see anybody. But the only time that was even where they came in was when there was a knife literally up to someone's throat, And 2 was when someone literally got headbutted,
I'm
which
about to
was
say, did
a
they cover
physical
for the headbutt?
direct contact.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things. Now, unless you're putting hands on somebody, then it's like, okay, so and so go to the diary room. They cut that out. They kick you out immediately. Absolutely, 100%. But words, because they're saying words, and then we're talking about the Kyle, and then we talk about the Kyle situation because Kyle has been a big part of this week.
Very.
As we know, for those who've been watching, Kyle and Alyssa kind of have this kind of showman's, non-showman's thing going on. If you watch the episodes, it looks like it's starting. It's kind of like starting to blossom. If you watch the feeds, hopefully everybody here does, and if you don't, then you probably shouldn't be watching this anyway, because we just like jump in and out of feeds all the time. Yeah, that there have been people on Twitter saying that production needs to step in because Kyle is being sexually harassed.
Yeah, now, Alyssa do be doing too much.
She's doing too much. She is doing too much. She is borderline disrespectful. There's lines that she is not, that she has crossed when he says no.
Literally saying
but
that.
What I want to remind, and I'm not condoning anything of what Alyssa is saying, like, or doing, but I do want to make this clear. Rockstar, definitely tell me if I'm wrong or right, or if you feel differently. When you are in that house, production has a way of asking you questions to make you question yourself. And if they felt like something was going on in where Alyssa was doing anything that Kyle did not want or did not let happen, they would have asked him. They will ask him about his relationship toward Alyssa. They will ask him about where he sees it. He sees that it's going. They will ask him because they want a showmance to happen. However, if he definitely feels uncomfortable, if he's saying things in the house, then they would have said, I have a big feeling like they would have at least talked to Alyssa and said, hey, like, we're noticing you're doing some things in the house. We want to make sure that you're not making anybody feel uncomfortable, yada, 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 so on and so forth. People are on Twitter trying to bash this woman, even though she's a hot hornball. It is what it is. But like, he is also not perpetuating it. I don't know how to explain it, but he obviously, from what has happened already, yesterday they kissed, and now that's all he can think about, and he wants to jump her bones, and he's talking about being horny and all of this other stuff. Like, we know that it wasn't that she was sexually harassing him. He was doing things to kind of egg things on. They're flirting. Yes, it's called flirting. And it sucks that everybody's going into this sexual harassment on this line of sexual harassment, and that BB needs to step in and kick her out. And I don't know.
I mean, it really seems to me like he doesn't want to piss off his family, but yeah, if the cameras were off, they would have already.
Oh, for sure.
They would have already, like, and I don't think he's saying he feels grossed out by himself, or, you know, he feels any sort of way taken of. I mean, the dude is like, yeah, like, I think his mom is upset. I think mom is upset for sure. But I think that if there were no cameras, that would have already been done happened with him excited about it.
Miss History, thank you again for this. She says there can't be a number amount on your morals and character when your chances at winning are 500K, 6.25 chances at winning. I'm giving that speech. I think that everybody's character is different. Some people are going into that house for the money and in deep and dire need.
Our backgrounds are different.
I also want to let people know that people are quitting their jobs to be on this show. People do not get paid to be on this show weekly. The money is given after the 99, 100 days. After, like, there's a whole amount of time that people aren't getting paid, that other people are paying their bills. This is It's a
Everything.
big thing. And not to say that there's not a number amount on morals and character. It's when you know that you are not doing it yourself, and when you are not there and present for those conversations. All of this is hearsay. I like when things happen to Kemi, I wasn't in the room when things were happening to Kemi. I wasn't
Okay,
in the
Amira.
room. I wasn't in, no, I mean, no, but seriously, there were things that I saw
Yeah.
in some cases, and unfortunately she was, at that point we weren't close enough. I understand to a degree. When I see a girl calling another girl a bitch, am I happy about it? No. But if it's like, if it's someone that I'm close to that's venting about somebody else that's doing something to her, or that I feel, even though I haven't seen it, I'm not gonna come be like, don't talk to her that way, or don't do
That's
this.
what
And
Daniel did.
huh?
Didn't Daniel zap out on Taylor on some egregious nothing? It ended up being, he thought he was taking a stand by saying that Taylor was not going to come at Nicole the way that Taylor
Oh,
messed up
trying to
Paloma,
defend her. Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. So there's also an element of, there's a lot of shit going on in the house, and say I would have stood up there and been like, y'all are blaming Bailey for everything, everybody is doing all these microaggressions left, right, XYZ, and I was wrong, then I would have looked like a whole dumbass.
That's true.
And would have gotten kicked out. And then, I mean, like, I'm not set, like, that's what Daniel did. He thought he was taking some sort of, I don't agree with the stand that he took, but he thought that Taylor was coming at Nicole, saying that she warped Paloma's mind, and now she was trying to do that same manipulative nonsense to Nicole. And that's why he popped off and said, don't talk to me till finale, blase, blah, blah, blah. He thought he was in the right there. He thinks that we're probably back. Yeah, she's not going to do that. She's not going to warp anybody. He's fucked up and wrong. But what if I was fucked up and wrong at that time? And that, I mean, I don't feel like I was, but that's not exactly the point I'm trying to make. I'm saying you could take a stand and you have half of the story or a quarter of the story, and you're gonna end up looking like, I mean, like, you're gonna be wrong. Like, he was wrong. He was wrong.
That's true. And I think that it's also going into your personal feelings, and what you personally want to stand up for, and how you feel personally about the person that you're arguing with, right? So don't get me wrong, I saw what was going on in my season, because I spoke a few times with certain people about how this is going to look to America. And I was told that the cameras were taken off of my conversation with said people. And we've talked about it. Now, am I going to go? I'm not the type of person to just pop off, because I tend to get a little bit about me. I tend to get violent. Like, I have a here, and then I have a here. And so I always try to stay very, very low, because once I get up here, people it's on, and people all I do is scream, and I'm about to be like, fuck you, bitch, I'm a beat the fuck out of you. Like, I have no limit. And because I know I have no limit, I try to stay very low, because I can't really convey what I really want to, because the passion is just so high, but
going back to the show, Monty wins HOH.
Wait, we still. Well, Monty is HOH, but I do want to address the fact that people in the chat do feel like Kyle has been sexually harassed.
Some people do. It's split.
I do think that it is harassment to a point, but we're at this point where he wants it, and he's talking about it, and he wants to be with her, and he wants her to go up to the HOH room, and
he's saying it a lot.
And he's saying it a lot, and he's saying he's horny. When does it go from he was sexually harassed to this was something that is being condoned now? Like all of a sudden,
one kiss is all it takes.
What I don't understand is, and it came from this episode that we keep talking over,
Sorry.
is that is that Alyssa got a whole man. You
Oh,
acting like this. You
and it's
licking
on
people's
Twitter.
arms, tonguing them down, and you got. I mean, no, she allegedly. I didn't see the post myself. I know several people have reported on it.
I saw it.
Allegedly, her man was like, "Shit, if she thought she had a man before, she don't got a man now." But she went into the house with her boyfriend, and
And
even in this episode, they talked about it. When she
and
said,
may I add as well, Busy, that the
Mhm.
reason he was saying no was not because he didn't want it to happen. Now, here's the thing: he said he's saying no because he was too horny. He wants it to happen. He wants
but
it
he
to
still
happen
to that information.
after jury. He wants or during jury, and he also knew that Joseph said she had a man. Joseph told her that he had a
Going too
man.
far now. She licking, she kissing, she touching, and she got a whole boyfriend.
And he knew that, and parts of it was like, hey, she's kind of trying to, maybe Kyle was like, she's trying to play with me, I really like her, but it feels like if she has a someone at home, like, I'm not gonna try to mess with that. Maybe in the beginning he's just like, okay, get her out because I don't want to stay tempted and all of this stuff.
He seems like he's
I don't
struggling with
know.
his
It's just
heart
like,
or his
I was
penis.
like, if I'm getting vibes from a guy, that he wants me, the last thing I want to do is feel like I'm a sexual predator or I'm sexually harassing him because I'm flirting with him, trying to get him to kiss me or trying to,
But you got a
advance
man.
certain things, huh?
But you got a man though. But you got a man. Like her mindset is so
She
warped.
doesn't have a man. First of all, it was her. It was her. It was her guy. It was a guy she was seeing. It wasn't her boyfriend. So let's
talking or
So
whatever.
they weren't dating.
they weren't dating. Like he said, I'm the one she like. They're dating, but they were not boyfriend and girlfriend, like exclusive. They were just,
Okay.
that was just her person, like the person that she was seeing. Maybe, I don't know. Alyssa. Wait. Oh, hell no. It took me a second to understand this. I was like, Alyssa got Caitlyn, but
Y'all not gonna do Caitlyn. Oh my god, did I tell you I had the longest conversation with her? We became so close. Now I talk to her almost every day. Well, now I say
what?
every day. Yes, I became because I loved her so much on her season, how crazy she was. And I was just saying, we sat and talked for at least, it was me, her, and oh, I'm not gonna say the person name because now I since I didn't come off the tongue, it seems bad. But me, her, and this other person talked for like 45 minutes. Like 45 minutes. And then we went to go find you, and you were something. Let me leave it alone. That's when I text you. And you was like, oh yeah, come here. I'm da da da. But yes, y'all not gonna do Caitlyn like that. I love her.
Oh my
Yeah, we made up in New York because I was not vibing with her for quite some many
I
years.
barely knew she was there the whole time until the end. It was only until the end because she was looking for Jessica.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, where is my sis? She's like, you know her? Yeah, girl. And then we talked, and I was like, okay, well, let me go find her. Let me go find my sis.
I say, Mrs. Reese says Kyle has trauma bonded, and if that's the case, we've
Is
all
that what
trauma
you think it
bonded.
would
So the
be?
whole cast should, the whole cast is trauma bonded. I mean, look at Taylor in the way she is sticking up for some of these people who she knows have been talking about her.
I think she's
And
just a
so,
good person, though.
huh?
She's
She's
so
just a good
sweet.
person.
She's the sweetest.
Like,
She's
just
the
all in
sweetest.
all, she's a good person. Because when you think about, like, what would you say when cameras aren't around or no one's around? Every time she's on the camera, even when she's like the most upset, she has a kind heart.
She's just like, I mean, like if she wasn't a real person, I wouldn't even believe someone was that real. Like she was crying not because they were all dogging her, but because she felt like she hurt Nicole's feelings and it made her sob, and she just never wants to hurt anyone. And I mean, it's hard to, I think, I try to be a good person, but like, I don't know that I would have sobbed for Nicole. I would have been like, fuck you. Like,
the way you were talking about me, girl, who cares?
I'm not that good of a person. Clearly, I strive to be Taylor level of good.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's almost unrecognizably, like the fact that someone can yell at her at such a high pitch and her just stand there and still say, I'm sorry. Like literally the first words that come out of Taylor's mouth in every situation is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Or I'm sorry. Like I'd be like way past sorry at this point. I'd be like,
the way
you got me confused.
I would have been
like,
Bailey.
what?
Okay, with that blood out my mouth talking to Dango.
Yes, it would be very Bailey situation.
What you did to Paloma? Oh, it would have been over.
That's like that was my fear coming in, that I would have been like, ah, and like bit my lip and then I'm blood all over. I'd be like, ah, you know, because I would, and I wish
thought when that, in the moment when that happened on my season, I literally thought that I snapped. I was like, I'm hallucinating this. I've lost it. I've literally lost it. She's spewing blood. I've gone into a hallucinatory state. I have lost my mind, truly, and it was real. It was crazy.
Now,
it was a lot. I would not have been able to keep my composure.
So I mean, let's go really quick. So because I promised these people that I would try to wrap this up in a little an hour, a little over an hour. So we gonna try real hard here, y'all.
Make you
proud. So bumping in 10 minutes. Let's go.
10 minutes. Let's do this. So no, I mean we pretty much talked about the main things, right, that have happened in this house.
I had no idea that people felt like Kyle was being sexually harassed because
a lot of people.
Yes. A lot of people do, and it is very split. And I not appreciate this. I would say I respect it, because I do understand that if it was a girl situation, a lot of people say, I think in the chats was like, you do not wait until the victim has to speak out for themselves. It should be, they should be able to. I do personally feel like with Big Brother has asked them questions. They do. They ask you so many questions. You see 1% of these diary rooms. When I tell you, people were like, you were sleeping this whole time. No, bitch, I was in the diary room all the time talking about how I was feeling and what I was doing. Originally I was like, I called Nick and Bella the two-headed snake. I was like, the people were like, what about, this Girls Alliance? And I said, I don't trust them for shit. Like, I don't trust Bella at all. They never put any of that in the diary room. They have a narrative. But what I'm saying is that they do, in my personal opinion, do talk. When things happened at heightened moments in my season, everybody went into that room and talked about what was happening. We were getting asked questions, general questions, yes. And it's kind of weird to, I was like, not call Kyle the victim here, but if we keep on calling Kyle the victim and you're still calling him the victim when he's out here saying, Alyssa, come up here, I want to kiss, and I'm going to lose my game for you, and I want to marry you, and I'm so horny, God, blah, 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 and all of this stuff. And then we see them fuck. Like, are they supposed to get kicked out now? Is she still supposed to get kicked out? Is she like, what are we, how, like, what are the rules against this, right? There's
blurred lines.
There's very, very blurred lines, and I can see both sides, but it definitely isn't a Twitter conversation to just like.
You better not.
I didn't even.
You better not.
Yeah. I
would have not. You better not. I ain't gonna do that. Rennie ain't gonna have it. She ain't having it. But that's that.
When we get to the nominations,
we'll talk about this one when after tonight's episode, which I'm pretty sure is gonna blow up into this big showmantic thing. Yes, Monty wins HOH. He puts up Alyssa and Indy. Now this is because Kyle has been pushing for Alyssa to be gone. Like, he wants, at this point, Alyssa gone. Some people think it's because he's harassing her. Other people think it's because he doesn't want to be tempted, and he's just like, she needs to go. She's bad for my game, which I believe is correct.
Yes.
and that is where we kind of leave off. Wednesday, which is tonight's
Yep.
episode, we will see the veto. For those of you who already are spoiled, we will already know that Kyle and Daniel win the veto.
Yay.
And this is actually a bad, when I saw it, it was actually I don't care. I felt like Alyssa could have left, which I actually wanted over Nicole, to be quite honest.
Really? What? Explain yourself.
Yo, boo, I think game-wise, okay, Nicole can't do shit to Taylor. She cannot do anything.
Yeah,
they
Taylor
are besties.
They
are
so many times how she feels uncomfortable.
Everybody, yes. And everybody feels like, you don't think I felt uncomfortable with Jack? You don't think I felt uncomfortable with Mickey? You don't think I felt uncomfortable with Nick?
Yeah.
Talking about flaunting his dick all over the place. I don't care. Like, everybody feels that type of not that type of uncomfortable. She's a very different type of uncomfortable. But the thing is that she's not per se seeing a lot of the stuff. It's like a feeling because people are talking shit behind her back. Right? And
Nicole has energy. Like I can.
Nicole has all.
Changes a room. She just gives off like just this negative aura. I feel like she can come into a room and change the energy of the room. And I would have to leave immediately. I would say, I don't know what just happened, but I gotta go. I can't. It's something, but I gotta take out my selenite right now. Something about her, just even talking about her.
But when I tell you,
I can't do it.
Look at this. This is exactly how I feel when you talk about Nicole.
Can you imagine having to stay with that for that long? Taylor's like, look, I gotta get the girl out, girl. And I'm with you, and that's your bestie, girl. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Alyssa can stay for one more day. Let her lick Kyle's arm and touch him inappropriately.
No.
Nicole got to go.
Well, this is the beauty, right, Rockstar? I would say, like, this is the beauty about Big Brother is it's not beautiful at all. Like, but the beauty about it is that everybody feels uncomfortable with somebody. And, you either have to choose whether emotionally you're going to make that decision and play emotionally and say, I can't fuck with your energy and I need you out because I can't focus.
Yeah.
Or you're going to say, I know they irk the shit out of me. I know this energy is horrible and they make me miserable. However, the bigger threat is
closer.
Yeah, I'm one step closer. And if I know I'm okay with this person who's doing all this shit, but this person is a direct threat to my game. In this case, Alyssa is a direct threat to Taylor's game.
How?
A direct threat. Well, first of all, we see it already. She's already in a showmance with Kyle, and Kyle already wants to change his whole plans and is about to really disassemble the whole leftovers. Like, leftovers have only been together for a week and that shit's already expired. I mean, obviously leftovers only last for like 3 days.
I was one of those where the alliance was made and the person that came up with the name then decided to just totally mess it all up.
I mean, same with me. Like, we were in an alliance, a girls' alliance, for 2 days before Bella decided to throw us under the bus. So
it's so crazy how you just really can never trust anybody in there. Like, even if you have a best friend, you're always side-eyeing them. I mean, like, you just never, I don't know if it can really even be explained how difficult it is to not have one person that you can fully trust in a situation. There, I mean, even at work, you've got like a work bestie that you can confide in, and that person's not that's your safe space. Or if you have a partner, a romantic partner, or a family member, a pastor, somebody, everybody's got at least one person that they know is riding for them that they can go talk to. In Big Brother, you legitimately do not have that person at all ever on solid ground, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to win that money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we've watched lovers throw each other on the block. We've watched best friends. We've watched the mom that takes care of everybody in the house get thrown up there crying about, but I cooked and cleaned for them. You know, there is no one that you can trust. And I can't even begin to explain. I could try to explain, but at the end of the day, like, it is absolutely batshit nuts to be in a situation where there's not one person that you can fully trust, like, ever. And it's just so, that alone is uncomfortable. I'm a people person. I like to feel like I got my community, my solid ground. You don't ever in there, because everybody wants that money. Period.
Absolutely.
Do you feel like Alyssa has more pull though than Nicole?
No, it's not that. It's that people don't care about Nicole. People already see what Nicole is up to. People already don't trust Nicole and Daniel. But let's put it in perspective. If Nicole wins HOH, Taylor is safe.
Oh, that's true.
Taylor is safe. Nothing's going to happen to Taylor. Right?
Could potentially pull Kyle and say, you know, we need to do this thing together. Even if they're not talking game, at some point she's probably going to be like, all right, well, I'm getting closer and closer to this money. It's game time. And she was already trying to play game. Just she hasn't really talked it with him. Well, the more they get romantically involved, the more he feels like that's his confidant. That's his person. This is a person I can trust. So she is dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is like, let's say, for example, they would have gotten rid of Alyssa today, or not today, but if they would have never used the veto, and Alyssa was to stay on, Alyssa would have been the person out.
Yep.
Indy would have gone to Brittany, and more than likely she would have joined Brittany and Michael as a festy bestie. And that way, if Michael and Brittany were ever to get on the block, they could vote out Indy versus being so none of this is to the benefit of the leftovers, because Alyssa stays, Kyle's whooped. Nobody is going to Brittany and Michael. They're both exposed.
Yeah.
If any of them go on the block and they don't win the veto, one of them is going home.
Yeah.
So, and all of this because, oh yeah, we want Nicole gone. We want Nicole gone. We want Nicole gone, says Twitter, which I want her to go too. Don't get me wrong. She deserves to go.
You changed my mind effectively, Joss. You
know, I mean, if anybody in the chat thinks otherwise, you can definitely convince me. I mean, I'm here not to just say this is how it should be. It's more so like, this is just what makes,
I see your side.
You know, what makes sense. That's what would have made sense. And this is where it comes from a emotional standpoint to a very strategic game. Like, the problem with alliances is that everybody sees, when you're in an alliance, everybody has a different end game. Like, you can't, like, these whole alliances where it's like, well, you put this person on the block and they were my, you know, they were my ally. And it's like, yeah, but they weren't mine. So like, how, like, it has to be, there has to be that give, you know, that give and take. Yeah. The idea that, that Monty has used the veto, or that Daniel used the veto, put up his own bestie, like his literal bestie.
To use the veto. To be clear, Kyle did not want to use it. He said he did not want to use it. But I guess the rules are, if either one of you want to use the veto, then the veto is gonna be used. And Daniel's raggedy, sweaty drummer ass decided that he wanted to use it, and he is the demise. Well, we'll see tomorrow, but he's the demise of his closest ally.
Yeah, it's he put he used it. He could have said no, you know, and that was, you know, that was wild, but it is what it is.
What's going to be on the episode tonight, right? That whole like, that's going to be hilarious.
We hope, because Big Brother has been now waiting to veto But that was only one episode though. Let me not give them that much.
Yeah, you also need to take into account that what we'll see is the actual veto comp, and they won't nominate the people until the very end of the episode. So we really won't get any of the fallout or whatever the plan is until tomorrow's episode. But it will still be interesting. Nonetheless, this will be still a very chaotic. Now that Alyssa's here, now that they're all booed up, now that Kyle is starting to notice that he might not want Monty and Joseph in a final three, and he's looking at other options. This is all it's all very very fluid. Again, we might not see a blind side. I don't know. I think Nicole may be told that she's going to be going home.
Wait, when did this happen? Today?
No, I think it was a conversation to Terrence and a suggestion that he should tell her that she's not going, that she's going home, and to cry to her and say that he can't do anything the way she told him. And I would actually die if that happened.
That's funny. I think that like
I'm screaming. I want it.
Julie asked Amira if she was blindsided or if she was shocked. And I could tell by the way she was sitting there looking nervous, by her outfit, by her everything, that she knew she was going home. And I think that the way that the show is edited, like people ask me all the time, you were so blindsided. And I was like, no, I was not. Because you know when you're going home, because everybody treats you differently.
Absolutely.
They do. Even if they don't want to, you know when you are going home. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you know, the energy it's when you're going home. It's why people dress up when everybody else is wearing athletic gear.
Did he have that conversation yet?
No, he has not had the conversation yet that I know of. So we might probably see that a little bit later tonight, maybe tomorrow morning.
And I want a side by side of when she had the conversation with him and when he has a conversation with her. Because she just knew he was going home and she was crying and she had to tell him her secrets. Oh my God, I want to see it. I want to be right there.
Yeah, this is going to be a big not blindside, but they are going to feel a little stupid. And this is definitely not, as Vivian would say, you can evict your best friend. This isn't this type of eviction. Like Tiffany knew Claire had to go at some point. She was trying to keep her. This isn't a blind that, like, we're talking about someone, Daniel, who has absolutely nobody but this woman. You know, this is.
Like my rider died.
Exactly. I would never put my ride or die in that position. You never put your number one ally on the block as a pawn. Like, it just does not make sense. That doesn't make sense. So we're going into questions where when do you think the first double eviction will be? Got to be soon with the shortened season. Personally, and I talked about this on my Twitter, I think that the double, I think it's going to be a triple, actually. That would make more sense. But if you go into because if you go into threes, like once everybody has a third bestie, I feel like it would then be get rid of two and keep one. You know, it'll be like that type of eviction and that would be considered a triple eviction because one person will have gone home.
I would die.
You know, it would be like the last person who has to go into a three. It'd be like, okay, you're evicted. Now you by default go into this third bestie situation. And now we're having a triple eviction. Now the first person who doesn't get the HOH or the veto is automatically on the block and you choose who to keep. And then people go home and one. Like, that's kind of how I would have assumed. That would make the most sense. But that's the type of triple eviction that happens in Big Brother Canada.
Have we only have one triple eviction and it was spoiled?
Oh, yeah.
It was only one we've ever had, and the camera, it said triple eviction right behind Julie.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, that's gone now. So if they try it, Julie, I need behind you to say nothing.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting, though. I don't like triple eviction. It's just too much. My heart can't take it. I'm a Pisces. This is too much at once.
Everything is too much at once. And like this whole season has been too much. I mean, it's why it took us 2 weeks to even start recapping the season, because I was about ready to quit,
Like,
call it quits.
It's
Like
been
I
a
just
great
could
turn though.
not.
Like they've changed like the ratings and the way people see this is Big Brother's trending now all the time for the best reasons. And I haven't seen this in a long time. I have
Yeah.
not seen this in a long time.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, yeah, we do have to kind of get through some of the crap in order to get to the fun. I think that the way it was starting to set up is pretty bad. I feel like the people that are still in the house, some of them really, really suck. I think that the next person out, if things go to plan,
Ooh.
will be Nicole. So if you have any questions for
Oh, I
Nicole,
thought you meant after Nicole. Yeah, Nicole's going.
I'm pretty sure I would give it like a 95%. I unless Kyle decides.
ask what it was that made her stop being a cop.
Oh,
Was it all that aggression you keep about?
Oh my gosh, it's wild. Yeah, I have 5 minutes with this human, and I don't know where to start, where to end, and it's giving me massive anxiety because I'm trying to be professional.
Start with some shots of vodka. You'll make it.
boom.
You know, I just want to say, hey, like we're just gonna go through this real quick because we only have 5 minutes, and then just ask the first question. I don't even want to ask how she's doing. Like, it's kind of
Puerto
more
Rican.
like,
Set the record straight. What are you?
what are you? That's so. What are you? That is like the most insensitive.
I'm half this. I'm half this. I'm
Let
part
that
of this.
let that be. Let that be like the first thing that they clip and be like, Jessica from Big Brother season 21
You
being
don't be
racially, ethnically insensitive, asking, what is she?
You can craft it a different way, but she said what she's not. She's aggressively not black, but she's half this.
No, she is aggressively not black. Like I was very upset at that when she screamed at the top of her lungs, "I'm not black."
Aggressively
Like
not black.
it
Girl,
it was wild.
We'll be so lucky.
She was talking about an instance of like either her friends or the people in her group, kind of peg her as the token black person, or in oh so many words. Like I'm totally paraphrasing this, but then she says, "I'm not black," like that, which. Yes, Mama, you are. Puerto Ricans are, are a mixture of black. You have black blood in your veins, and which you definitely have more melanin than me. And like you are not white. And you if you are not white, then the only other race that you could potentially be, aside from other, you're definitely other, but that's a mix of black either way. So
the girls will look at her and be like, "You black," and then you black. I'm sorry, I know you're a police officer, but girl, you're black.
Look, when we say, I'm sorry, let me term to say that this is not making her black like Taylor black. I'm not saying like Busy black. Right. I ain't talking that. I'm not talking that. But from facing people do mistake her for being a black woman or for being biracial. I mean, I know there's different.
And I feel like it's reasonable. I would look at her and be like, "Oh, who is this?"
There's ranges.
Something.
There's a range, right? There's a range, and this is just a range.
Just ask her to clear it up. What ethnically? Because you Puerto Rican, y'all can talk on Puerto Rican.
Well, she said that's just a waste of a question. To me, it's like I got 5 minutes with you, girl. I've already have bookmark. I'd be like, why did you say Taylor's pussy was being flaunted? That she was using her pussy. She was using her pussy to flaunt. To play this game. How in the world do you think that you're playing this? That you have no like. She has said that this game has brought out the best in her. These are her words.
What
her words?
I don't want to see the worst.
Yeah, if this is your best, exactly. If this is your best, I don't want to see the worst, girl. I really don't want to see the worst.
She's not a police officer anymore.
Ask her how she felt about the Daniel Taylor situation. I want to know how she truly felt about the. Oh, I want to know this. Yeah, we ain't got enough time. It's only 5 minutes because I want to know why she just sat there during the Daniel Taylor situation.
Yes. Say to her, when Daniel was approaching Taylor about warping your mind, what were you thinking in that moment? And just let her go. Just let her whatever she was thinking. Ask questions where she just gets herself into a hole and you're not.
And that's kind of where I want. Like, I don't want to have her 5 minutes explaining something that doesn't really serve the purpose of what we want to know, right? I did that with Amira because I felt like with Amira there were a lot of things she didn't see. She was very much just playing up on a thought process of Taylor that she really didn't know. She was close to Paloma. She believed Paloma. She believed Monty. She believed a lot of people in her alliance. And because of that, she kind of had that groupthink mentality of like, I'm not going to be close to Taylor because I already have the people that I'm close to. Yeah. So whatever they're saying must be true, right? Because they've experienced it, even though I haven't. So it's just her playing telephone and explaining about what a bad person she is, when she hasn't really seen that. And because she's nice to her front facing, she thinks Taylor is just being nice to her front facing back and talking shit behind her back. Because that's what everybody thinks. We're all nice in front of each other's faces. And some people come out and they just keep talking shit. And other people are actually really nice. Like, they're not thinking about anything that's not game related. Right. And that's just the way it is, right? So I wanted to start with Amira and ask her some game, she's the first person getting the Taylor, I didn't want it to be all about Taylor, but then this one's a little different. This one's a little different because Taylor is so involved in Nicole's gameplay, and it's not even gameplay, it's personal. So like, I definitely want to be able to, in 5 minutes, get her to say something about what that is. And I already have like 15 questions. So you can't ask 15 questions in 5 minutes because her answers are going to be about 2 to 3 minutes a question.
Oh my God, I wonder when she comes to you, because I would ask her, if you could do anything over again, are there any things you regret? She thinks she played the best game. They're bringing out the best in her, and it's like, girl, but you were a nasty.
I mean, I'm thinking like maybe I should start by saying, you said that you played, that this game has brought out the best in you, and you have absolutely no regrets coming out of the house. Do you feel that you still feel the same way? And if she does say feel the same way, I will read all of the comments,
because that's what she likes about Julie.
She has said. But I guess it would just really depend on what Julie decides to ask her, how blindsided she is coming into this. Like, there's just like so many.
Julie calls the people out, so I'm hoping that Julie does her worst. I really hope she Aaron's this girl. Wait, wasn't it Aaron? Yeah, she's like, let me tell you, let me read a couple of things for you, sis. I hope she does all of that. I want her to go to Nicole just like she did Aaron. She's like, well, that's what Texas, that's what we do. I didn't really say anything about. Well, girl, let me tell you some of the stuff you said. Here we go. You said go eat rice. I want Julie to give us all of that. And if she does, then I need you to ask, well, you say you like when Julie really digs into a person. How did it feel weird?
Did it feel weird? What that feel like?
You love it so, since you love it so much, did it feel weird? Girl, you like when the girls dig into, oh my God. Oh, she lucky I'm working. Oh.
It's a weird cast, like, as an alumni, because even this is the first time. So I reached out to one of them, and that was just Pooch initially when he got out. I have always reached out to the house guests since my season. I send a little, hey, welcome to the alumni family. We are a dysfunctional and varied group, but we're mostly lovable. Welcome to the alumni family. And I only sent that out to the one person, and that was it. And that was, I mean, I just, this is the first year that I'm just kind of like, I don't know about, like, I mean, like, there were several people from your season that I like. I love you. I love Kemi. I like Kat and I, and Nicole at the time. Like, I send out these. This is a fact about me. I welcome people. I have not done that yet to Paloma or Amira. And shortly after I did that, Pooch started talking all this nonsense, saying that I approved of what all I said was welcome to the dysfunctional alumni family in a Instagram DM. So I don't know. I don't know that I want. I mean, they're all people. They're all playing the game. The game is hard. We relate to each other. We're all trauma bonded in that we're alumni of the game. But I also avoid a fuck ton of people at these events. And I just feel like this is a cast of people that I am going to be on the other side of the bar, I don't know. And so far, I did not like the way that they treated Taylor for literally breathing for absolutely nothing. And we saw first week feeds with this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't come in a week afterward when X, Y, and Z could have happened that none of us saw, or little side comments hither or thither. No, we walked in the house with y'all. Yeah. Like, we saw how shitty you were being to one like this mob mentality for what? Ew. Yeah. It's gross. It's ick. I don't like it, and I don't like that all of them did that. And when we started out this, you asked me if I was triggered or I related, and abso-fucking-lutely I did. For a lot of different reasons. I wasn't coming in there a supermodel pageant girl, but I was absolutely ostracized, made fun of, bullied, and did not have anybody having my back. Taylor fortunately had a turnaround of people starting to go, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't okay. Thank goodness, because it's about to be real ugly, like ugly. And some people have continued to be super ugly. For what? I don't know. I don't like that.
It's weird because you know how I know we don't see everything, as a friend of the people on the show. We don't see everything, but we do see the things that we do see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
These people have been nasty, and they're coming out with the excuse of, well, y'all don't see everything, but what we saw was what we saw.
Right.
And y'all was trash and disgusting and rude and derogatory and defamatory, and y'all throwing out all types of microaggressions. Like, we saw what we saw. I don't know how they're gonna come out of this. I need Paloma to get off the internet.
Oh. I really feel like, honestly, they should all just take a week to listen to look anonymously at what everybody is saying about them, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then they take a week to sit with that. So I think it should be 2 weeks before you step your ass out onto the internet.
Amen.
And I wish that somebody would have said that to me. So that's what I'm saying to everybody that can't hear me right now.
And be prepared.
But honestly, I mean, the people in the house, I wish that they would just look at the.
Taylor, she deleted that TikTok.
What's that?
Oh yeah, she deleted the TikTok, not her TikTok.
No, she deleted the one that she blamed.
Yes.
Oh, because they dragged her to hell, and they should have.
Sure.
That wasn't that. Not the move. Not the move. But I really wish that they would you take a week. You read the good, the bad, you look at the funny, you see yourself doing some shit, you're picking your nose, and now it's a GIF and nobody knew, and you sit with that and you go, all right, this is my reality. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then you take a week and you process that shit. Then you go talk about it because you've thought and you've had time to analyze, wow, what was I doing this? And I see how that was read that way. Or I see how that came off that way. And oh no, it is because I was tight with so-and-so and they were feeding this as the word of God to me. So I was just rolling with it because I didn't have time for anybody else because that was my person or whatever. But you can't just go online and react to the shit that people are saying because they will drag you to hell. You don't even know what you don't even know what you're responding to properly because you
That's
haven't
true.
evaluated what you did on the show. And
They'll drag you. I mean, and it'll be for years to come. They'll drag you. Like someone tried to drag me for, saying a comment that they said, oh, but you've told lies. And it's like, well, yeah, the game is to, unfortunately, kind of tell lies. But the thing is that they were saying that I was lying about something that I really did not lie about. It was like 100% fact. And when I asked for receipts, they gave me some blog about how I lied. And I'm like, no, bitch, I need an actual receipt.
Yeah,
I don't need someone saying, oh, because so-and-so said it, because this blog said it, or because Terrence said that's what someone else said while I was in the storage room, even though there's no footage. Like, you need to show me like that.
Give me the updates that I said that.
Yeah, give me the update. Give me the timestamp. Give me the thing, and I will say, okay, I did it. But some people, and I mean, the thing is that there's millions of fans that will still watch something that's either taken out of context or that someone else said, just like in the BB house. That groupthink mentality, and they will stay with that. But you did the same thing, and you did where did you hear that? Oh, I saw it on some update. Like, oh, okay, but we're gonna.
Crazy thing about being on that show is that, yes, for years they will snap. Someone posted the cringiest moment in history, and it was me zapping out on Brett with no context, and everybody in the comments was like, who the fuck should care that it's her daughter's birthday? Like, why do they? Because these people didn't know shit about what was going on. They didn't know he bullied me. They didn't know he called me fat. They didn't know he said I was a bad mom. They didn't know he said, let's get all the unattractive people at the house staring at me. Like, they didn't know none of that. They didn't know shit about the show. But because I was zapping out and popping off, they're like, why is she so entitled? Who cares that it's her daughter's birthday? And that's what the comments on this just got posted like a month ago. So we never escape, I guess, explaining ourselves. So all I'm saying is take time to actually get your verbiage right and what you want to explain about yourself. Don't come off. We will never, as long as this show is on and the internet exists, we will never stop explaining ourselves.
Never.
Period.
Yeah.
Be prepared for that.
Or somebody thinks that something's funny, so they bring it back up. And that's just the way that it goes. And we did, yes, accept that. Or even if we didn't understand, I understood it. I knew. Make me famous, bitch. Talk about it. But some of these people don't. Like, I mean, I feel like if they're talking about you, they're talking about you. And then there's a reason to talk, and you talk, whatever that is. But some of these people are recruits and didn't really pay the fuck attention and have no idea that they're going to be, because they didn't pay attention.
But they tell you. They tell you when you start, like, they tell you to get off of social media. They tell you to put it on private. They tell you to do all of these things. They say, like, are you ready for this? Because our fandom is wild. And you're like, how wild can they be?
Yeah.
They're wild as fuck. Like, they would be like, they should have, if they would have said, yeah, they've gotten people fired and they've gotten people suicidal and they've gotten death threats and they've gotten, like, if they would have told me that wild, I mean, they don't tell you that wild, but it is actually that wild. It is that wild.
No, it's wild. They doxed me. The fans did. They put my old address that they thought was my real address, and they doxed it on Twitter. They threatened to call CPS, all because they didn't like me on a show.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, guilty. I ain't never doxed nobody or do any of that stuff, but I'll tell you one thing. If I see Shelly today, I'm still never over Shelly. I told Jessica about it all the time. I still don't like what she did to Rachel Jordan. I'm still mad at Shelly till today. But I'm not doxing or doing any other stuff, but I do harbor that energy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying not to do. Like, in this tomorrow, when we see who is getting evicted tomorrow, Friday will be the exit interview. I will apologize ahead of time if you feel like I am not mean enough to this woman or to this human. However, I am trying to keep it like partially professional, because if not, I'm gonna get very Puerto Rican on her ass, and I'll be like, what is the reason? Tell me, what is the reason? Why you do this to Taylor? What is the reason?
We love it.
And I don't want to be that way. Exactly, and it's like good. But yes, I mean, that being said, what is the reason? No way. Click like, subscribe, click to receive notifications.
Thank
Send
you
us
so
in
much.
the comments who you're thinking is going to leave, and if you have any questions for the evicted house guests. We want to thank Rockstar. Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time, getting us your inside comeback whenever you want, girl. I love you to death. You know we love talking.
Oh, and just so that all of your fans can start harassing you, Scotty DM'd me and asked if we had applied for a little something yet.
Oh yes, we need to work on that. We definitely need to work on that. Scotty's a mess too. I would invite him, but he's not really up to date. Look at this. Oh my god, no, not me. Jess is gonna slip and call her a puta. For those like it has crossed my mind. My mean girl side was just be like, oye,
keep it in.
Oye, puta la madre. No, we ain't gonna go there though. We're gonna keep it classy. I try to keep it classy. My face might not.
You know what? You need to channel Taylor and her energy.
Oh, we can't.
I think people will get really pissed off at me if I try to Taylor. If I try to channel Taylor, because I know people were getting mad at the fact that Taylor was not saying anything to defend herself when she was getting, called out, and it's just not. That's just not happening. So, I mean, we're going to make it. We're going to figure this out. Just make sure that you all are subscribed and you click those notifications so that you see the exit interview on Friday. Definitely follow us on all of our social media platforms. Busy Blue, Rockstar. Yours is at Angela Rockstar?
Well, my Twitter is at MRS_AY, which I have not a missus, but it is. And then my Instagram is Angela MFN Rockstar, like my fun neighbor. And then my TikTok is Angela Rockstar, which is probably the easiest one.
Absolutely.
But thank you. I love you so much. I got to go get my son. And this has been a pleasure and a delight. It's always wonderful to see your faces.
Oh, we love you, Rockstar.
No, we love you, Rockstar. And yes, and everybody, we love you too. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. And we'll see you next week. Bye.